Welcome back everybody! This video is the second one of a series on how to make hama-mats from hama beads. In this one we'll make our very first hama-mat. The design is simple, so it's easy for you to see what happens. This also means that the design is small and rather dull, but we'll make up for that in the next video, when I'll show you how you can design your own mat. As I've shown you in the first video, this is the design we'll be making. It has 8 rows, alternating the colors red and blue, and 4 beads a row. This means we'll need a total of 16 red and 16 blue beads. To start, get yourself some thread about as long as you can spread your arms. Next, fold it in two and make a knot at one end. This will give you a double piece of thread. I do it this way for 3 reasons. 1, it's easier to start this way. 2, it'll give your mat more stability. And 3, it'll be easier to lengthen your thread when you don't have enough to finish your mat. But we'll get back to this last point in another video. Now try to get your thread through the eye of the needle and look back at our design. Do you remember how I was talking about jutting in and out rows? This is where it gets important, since you always need to start with a jutting in row, which is the bottom red row in our case. So we need to start with red. Get a red bead, stick your needle through it and bring it all the way down to the bottom. At the end of your thread you should have some sort of loop. Stick your needle through that loop and pull. The red bead is now secure and you can dangle it in front of your face. Next we'll put the first bead of the other 7 rows on top of the first red one. So we'll start with blue. Note how this one cannot fall off because of the first red bead that's secure. Then we need to get another red one. Blue, which makes 4. Red 5. Hope you can see it. Blue 6. It wants to get on, yes. Red 7. And blue 8. It should look like this now, if it stops dangling. There. Now we can go back. The next bead will sit next to the last blue bead we've put on our thread, this one, and it will sit next to it. So get a blue bead, stick your needle through it, just bring it all the way down like you did before. Now stick your needle through the first red bead you'll encounter, which is that one. Stick your needle through it like this and pull. Make sure you pull it nice and taut, but without breaking the thread, because then you're in trouble. It should look like this at top. 2 blue beads sitting next to each other, a red bead below it, and the rest still dangles down there. And your thread should be coming out the bottom of that red bead. Alright, to continue we'll take another blue bead, so not a red one, a blue one. And stick your needle through the next red bead. My fingers are in front of it, I'm sorry, but... And pull again. And now should look like this. 2 blue beads, a red one in the middle, 2 blue beads, and the rest down there. You can now continue until you're down. Does yours also look like this? I hope it does, because if it doesn't, you've done something wrong and you have to start all over again. You should be able to see why you had to start with a jutting in row now. If you don't, try starting over with a jutting out row and see what happens. You'll notice that the jutting out row becomes the jutting in row automatically. But however, we can now go back up. This time we put red beads on our thread and stick the needle through blue beads. So, red bead on the thread, stick it through the first blue bead we encounter, and always make sure you pull nice and taut. There. Now the bottom row has two red beads sitting next to each other. Again, you take another red bead and stick it to the next blue one. This way you can go all the way back up to the top. Your mats should be coming along now. You can continue this way until all the rows have 4 beads. To summarize, you put blue beads on your thread and stick your needle through red ones where you go down, and put red beads on your thread and stick your needle through the blue ones when you go up. Now all that's left after you've finished is to secure that last red bead you've put on there. Without putting any bead on the thread, stick your needle through that last red bead you've added and stick it through it again from the top. With a loop you can now make a knot. Make another 2 knots and make sure everything is nice and firm. Like this, 1, 2, 3. And you are done! Congratulations! You've just made your very first hama-mat. You should be proud of yourself. You really should. That concludes this video. I hope it didn't take you too long. If you still have trouble understanding it all, just keep on practicing. You'll get it eventually. I also had to practice the first few times. Now that you know the basics, you're ready to start designing your own hama-mat. So I hope I'll see you then. Until the next time.